Hello everybody, my name is Thalita Favoreto. On behalf of Furukawa, welcome everyone and thank you for your participation here. In this webinar today, we are going to present you the main concepts of passive optical lens applied to the hospitality environment in a way to achieve the best infrastructure to connect your guests. Moreover, we'll show different integration possibilities to improve your service and automation of the network. I present to my colleague, Global Solutions Engineer Alexandre Chapo, who works towards the growth of know-how and use of the FTTX and passive optical lens for the markets of Europe, Middle East, and Southeast Asia, while collaborating on building Furukawa Electric brand as a leading broadband and cabling company. He has already held positions of product development and new markets management and development. During the presentation, you can write questions here in the comments, some of which we'll answer in the final minutes of this session. Have a good presentation. Chapo, please.
Thank you, Thalita. Hello, everyone. So today the webinar is about Laserway, more focused on the hospitality market. A little bit about Furukawa for those that haven't heard of us. Furukawa is a Japanese company with over 50,000 employees all over the globe. We have offices, factories spread across the globe, and with over 120 subsidiaries in every continent. So we have many segments, connectivity on FCS, on the LAN networks, we have industrial systems, and of course broadband. So this is the segment that we're going to talk today on the communications part. A bit of what's going on in the market right now, in the hospitality market. So of course, depending on the country, it might be a different stage right now, but when we look at this information from March, many countries were being very affected by the COVID-19. So this is the occupation percentage on the hospitality market in each of these countries, how much it has decreased from 2019 to March 2020. So we see countries like Thailand with almost 70% reduction, Indonesia also almost 70. We see Spain with almost 90% at this time. So many countries were very, very affected by the COVID-19. So of course, we can see already some recovery in some countries, some actions from government, from hotel chains to recover this time that was lost, right? So we see, for example, some news from Italy where the government will give 500 euros for the population to spend on hotels in the country. We see this graph from the US market. They are still going to a tough time there, but we already see some ramp up in the interest of traveling from the population there. So this might be happening. This curve might be happening the same way in many other countries. Yeah. So for countries that are already going out of the crisis, maybe it's already ramped up much higher, and we can see some recovery in the market. And there are some hotel chains like Sentara in Thailand, which are using this time that they have lower occupation to improve their hotels, so that they are ready for when the ramp goes higher again, the occupation rises again. So this is an excellent time to update and upgrade the hotel in many ways, right? Infrastructure, network, and so on. Okay, so this is a bit of what's going on in the market right now. And of course, we see many new applications, especially now that everyone is staying at home. So we see 8K being broadcast in Japan. The Olympics was supposed to be in 8K already. We see applications like Disney Plus and Netflix offering 4K TV. And this is an interesting data from April. Netflix during this COVID time had increased around 16 million new subscribers. So of course, these people will travel later to hotels and all, and they will want to continue using this Netflix, these applications that they were used to use at home, and they will want, of course, the same quality. So this is just an idea of the bandwidth required in this 4K and 8K video streaming, right? So if we see 4K at 60 FPS, we can see at least around 60 megabits, and 8K at least around 150, right? We also have some applications like NBA being transmitted in VR. This was from already last year, already being transmitted like that. We have gaming, even though Stadia is not a success yet, but shows some trend in the market to also move this kind of application to the cloud. Yeah, and we're seeing every kind of application going to the cloud: video, voice, video streaming, camera, CCTV, storage. So everything is moving to the cloud. So it's changing a bit of how it was before. The networks are changing, yeah. And at home, the customers are used to hire fiber as a quality service. So they know if they hire fiber at home, doesn't matter the country. You can see here Thailand, Indonesia, Spain, Brazil, Switzerland. So doesn't matter the country, all over the world. The customers know if they have fiber in their home, they have great service. So of course, when they go to a hotel and they know that you have fiber to the room, they will know that you have a great service of internet, of connectivity inside the hotel. So that's our proposal here with the Laserway solution. Take fiber to the room, but not just take fiber to the room, layer the cable and so on. That's easy, right? We are looking for the lowest TCO possible. TCO means total cost of ownership, which is the junction of CAPEX and OPEX. But what is CAPEX and OPEX, right? CAPEX is all the initial investment you have to do in the network. So all infrastructure costs, installation time, cabling cost, active equipment investment. So this is all the initial investment. This is the CAPEX. And the OPEX, you have real estate costs, training of personnel, energy cost consumption, right? So all this combined is the total cost of ownership. Yeah. So when we built the Laserway solution, we focused on this, how to improve this, not just have the lowest cost product, but how to improve also the OPEX, which is very, very important right now in a crisis like this. The reduction of OPEX costs, especially when you have these kind of situations where you have lower occupation or you have lower seasons on normal years, it's very important. So you have lower operational costs. And what is this passive optical LAN concept, the Laserway concept? Yeah. So here we have the traditional LAN on the left, where we have all the layers of switch. So core layer, distribution layer, access layer, and we have all these telecommunication rooms spread across the network, right? But when we move to passive optical LAN, we have only a central office equipment in the data center, right? And then you have only passive elements up to very close to the end device. For example, in a hotel, inside the room. So all these telecommunication rooms that you would have with switches, power supply, maybe air conditioning, and so on, you eliminate. You only have a splitter, which is a passive element. The splitter works like this. You have one fiber coming in, and passively it divides, it splits the fiber in 32, 16 outputs. Yeah, passively. So this is not powered. Yeah. So this is one of the main advantages of using fiber. Another one is that this distance from the data center up to the room, for example, you can go up to 20 kilometers without any repeater, any telecommunication room with switches and things like that. Yeah. And then when you look at the traditional LAN of copper LAN networks, you're limited, of course, to 100 meters between devices. Another advantage of using fiber is that the fiber capacity has not reached a real limit yet. People are testing with terabits of capacity transmissions. And when you look at copper, you have to update every 5, 7, 10 years maximum. You have to upgrade your network and change from Cat 5 to Cat 6, Cat 6A, Cat 7, Cat 1000, and so on, right? But as you have all this capacity already in the fiber, this network will stay there for 25, 30 at least, because the infrastructure is ready for any upgrade you need on speed, right? So these are one of the main, these are some of the main advantages of when you look at passive optical LAN against the copper solutions. Yeah? And of course here, everything is controlled from one central point. So you don't have to configure anything in the middle, right? So you configure only here in the central office. So this makes the operation much easier, much faster to control. Yeah. Looking a bit more detail about the infrastructure, right? So if you would have 240 Cat 6 cables, yeah, this would be the occupation on a cable tray on a raceway, yeah, with about 1,000 kilos in 100 meters. But when we look at fiber, this is the impressive reduction we can achieve, right? So if we sum up these two, which is the backbone and the access part, we can see in 100 meters not over 100 kilos, right? So the comparison here, the difference is huge. And the space occupation, yeah? So you can see here the difference, right? This blue one is fiber cable and the red one is a copper cable. So this is the reduction we're talking about in infrastructure. So of course, when you change from copper to fiber, you're not just getting more speed, more reliability in the network. You, the infrastructure change in the cabling is changing, is affecting other elements in the infrastructure like raceways, ducts, everything. So you can reduce costs in all that. As I mentioned in telecommunication rooms, you won't have switches or anything powered there, so you don't need to invest in power supplies, air conditioning, nothing, right? So this is how PONLAN Laserway affects the network, right? It's not just okay, I'm going to change from copper to fiber. No, you change the entire design, entire infrastructure in the project, and there are a lot of advantages on that. But I think fiber is something fragile. Is not. I don't trust it. So we can see in this video, this guy stapling the fiber to the wall a lot, pressing through corners. Look, this is very, very damaging to the fiber, right? So the curvature is very low. And we can see here the actual measurement of the power supply inside the fiber. So as you can see, it's putting some weight now, pulling the fiber and so on. So as you can see, the fiber has evolved a lot, right? So, but you need to use the correct kind of product to the correct to each environment. And of course, Rucal has a lot of products in its portfolio for outdoor plants, indoor plants, focused on hospitality, and it's important to use something like this correct to the environment. For example, if you put a cable like this inside the room, you don't have to worry if the gas will pass the chair over it or kick the cable. It will not damage, right? So this is something that Furukawa does. It studies the product you have and recommend the correct product for your environment. And Laserway networks can connect basically any kind of system over it. You can run any system you would run through a normal copper network, you can run through GPON, through Laserway. Okay. So you can have PBX, video transmission, ERP, BMS systems, whatever. You can run through GPON. Yeah? It's all integrated in the same network. And Furukawa is part of the TIA organization. So it has helped standardized not just copper solution, but also the addition of the Poland solution inside the TIA standard. So today, this kind of solution, the Poland, for those that think this is something new, no, it's already even standardized by TIA, which is the International Cabling Organization. And of course, all the design recommended by Furukawa follows this standard. Yeah. So this is what Furukawa recommends in terms of solution for the Laserway. This is the Laserway solution, right? So you have here in the central office the OLT, yeah, which is your central equipment. Then you have the splitters, which can be together inside the data center, or it can be, for example, if you have a hotel with many floors, you can put the splitters on the floors. And then you have a pre-terminated cable from the splitter up to a distribution box, a connection box, and then a patch cord to the ONT, right? So everything is pre-terminated. There's no splicing, no field connectorization. So you don't have to worry about anything. It's plug and play. You arrive in the field, just plug the cables, and that's it. It's very quick, very safe. You don't have to worry about some testing in the field of the products. Everything is pre-tested from factory. So you you are ensured that everything will work when you arrive in the field to install. Yeah. So the speed you have when you do this is tremendous. You reduce in about 60% the time of installation. And of course, you need much less people to do it. So in a hotel where you have maybe sometimes to stop a whole floor to upgrade the network or something, the speed is important. So the more time you spend with that floor stopped, you lose money, right? So this is the idea here: bring easiness and speed and safety to the installation, to the or upgrade of the network. Yeah. Okay. And of course, this is all in accordance with PIXI recommendations and TIA recommendations. But why is it important to be in accordance with these guys? Sometimes, especially in hotels, we've seen some countries that it's required the cabling to be in accordance with some standard in order to get the insurance for the building. Yeah? So some insurance companies sometimes will say, if your building, for example, gets on fire or something, oh, we will not pay you the insurance because your cabling was not in accordance with the standard. Yeah, so this is important also for this kind of elements for insurance, for example. Okay, and of course, ensures that you have the network, best assembled as possible. Yeah? So the products that compose this kind of the Laserway solution. So we have racks, the OLT, which as I mentioned is the central equipment in the network. We have with 32 ports or 8 ports. Um, then we have smaller racks, the splitters, which can be a 19 inch, or our new model, which is very compact, which is a 1x32 splitter with MPO outputs already. This reduces a lot the occupation in the rack. Then you have all the connection box, the option, of course, with field connectorization. And then we have the ONTs. You have a PoE ONT with 4 ports. We have a PoE ONT with 8 ports. We have ONT with 4 data ports and 4 analog phone ports. Let's say you still have analog phones instead of IP phones. You can use this kind of model. It's already integrated in the GPON network. You don't need a second network for that, second infrastructure for that. And then you have a very compact one with just 1 port. So these compose the ONT portfolio. These, for example, will stay inside the room. Yeah, or in the hallway, for example, connecting cameras, access points, and so on. Okay. And then we have, of course, the software that integrates and monitors all these elements in the network, right? So it will monitor speed, temperature, CPU load, and so on of every element in the network. Yeah, every OLT, every ONT, and you have a centralized software as well to configure everything in the network. So it's a very simple configuration, makes the configuration very easy, very quick, and it's very easy to learn. Yeah. So for those worried a bit about learning this kind of, it's a new equipment, I just know Cisco or something, don't worry. GPON is very easy, and with this software, it's much, much easier to do it. Looking at some cases from Furcal, so we have this hotel which has over 900 apartments and it's entirely with Laserway solution. Yeah. So this is one of the comparisons that we can do uh, for the products that you might have, right? So if we look at on the gray bars, these are the copper networks, and on the purple bars, these are the Laserway networks. So as you can see on CapEx, we achieved a reduction of almost 15% in this project. If we look at energy consumption, we can see the almost 70% energy consumption reduction in this project. This is a lot. And this is something that this space utilization is something that many times we don't pay much attention, right? But as I mentioned before, with Laserway, you can reduce a lot of telecommunication rooms. So we can see here a reduction from 400 square meter to only 10 square meters because you removed all the telecommunication room space that you would use in a copper network. But what does that mean in a hotel? Of course, means more money, right? So if you had 400 square meters reduced, and let's say each room occupies 50 square meters, this can be even lower in some hotels, right? But let's say 50 square meters, and you have a daily average fee of $150 per room over 5 years, and estimating a 70% occupancy per year. We're looking at an extra revenue of $1.5 million just because of this telecommunication room reduction. Yeah. And this is not even being considered here in the TCO comparison, right? So if you look at 5 years in the TCO comparison, we're looking at a 44% reduction in the TCO. This is a big reduction. 44% in the total cost of ownership is a big reduction, right? So this is what Laserway can do for you. And this kind of comparison we can do for your project. So if you're interested in a solution, but you're not sure if it will fit well in your project, don't worry. We have a specialized team which will specialize in design of Laserway networks, of copper networks, and they will help do this project with you. We can do this comparison so that you can have a clear idea based on your project, not maybe some else's project or something that you think is too much different from yours. Don't worry, we can do the same comparison that you're seeing here based on your project, your data. Yeah. And another case, this is a bit smaller. This is a case from Pueblo Bonito in Latin America. In this case, we have 140, almost 150 rooms. Yeah. And we have the OLT as the central core, the core switch of the network, right? This is why I like to mention this example because the OLT is a layer 3 equipment. So it can be used as a core network, core switch in the network, right? So of course, if you have a big network, maybe you would need more switches and so on. But if you have a small network, the OLT can be the core switch. Yeah, there's no problem in that. In this hotel, for example, is working as the core switch, is already installed and everything, and it has VoIP, IPTV, Wi-Fi, and this is inside a room, for example. So in this, many people ask me, where would I put the ONT inside the room? There are many options. You can put maybe behind the TV, behind some furniture, or like in this case, it's put inside a box, inside the closet. Yeah. And then you have the outputs to the Wi-Fi, phone, TV, and so on. Yeah, so there are many options to where to put the ONT. Yeah. These are just some cases that we already have installed. So we have Ibis in Portugal, Staybridge in Mexico, Intercontinental, Marriott, Raffles from Accor as well in Bali, and with Villa hotels in Maldives. Yeah, so we've been selling this for, I don't know, over 7 years already in the market, and of course it has evolved over the years. But we have a lot of experience with the Laserway solution in the hospitality market. This is just a few of the cases, but there are many more. And of course, to give you peace of mind, we offer the 24 by 7 premium support. So anywhere in the world, we can have this service online for you. You can call any day of the week. You can have support. Uh, but I have a problem on Sunday night. No problem. You have someone to help you with the configuration, help you with any problem that you might have. And of course, during the installation of the equipment, we have a service, which is the startup service, which we will send an engineer to the site to where you're installing the equipment, your network, and this person will help you configure, will train the local team. So we will assist in all this operation to bring online the equipment, the software, and your network. So this is also makes it easy for you to bring the service on, especially if it's something new for you. So all the local team will be trained. You be sure that you're configuring the network as best as possible, and you have a specialized personnel there to help with the configuration during the startup. You know? So these are some of the services we provide to give you peace of mind. And of course, we have training programs as well with the Furukawa Technology Institute. We have, for example, if you're interested on doing the trainings, we have the Laserway solution planning, which helps you with the concepts and projects, which help you with the design and learn how to design the network, and also Laserway equipment, which helps you to learn how to configure the equipment. Yeah? So you can do that by COI, which is Cisco-like the configuration, or through the software, which is much easier. And right now we have launched our service of Laserway online trainings. So this is free. You can access through this QR code, and you can do these trainings online. Okay, so this is available for you to do. Okay, it provides certificates and everything. Yeah, so very interesting. Strongly recommend to do this. If you install everything, active equipment, passive equipment in the network with Furukawa products, we will send a technician or engineer to the site where it was installed to verify everything, and everything being installed okay, we will give 25-year warranty on the network for the passive elements. So if you have everything with Furukawa products, we send engineer, he will check everything being okay, we provide you a certificate for a 25-year warranty on the passive optical elements in the network. Okay, and this is just a summary of what Furukawa tries to do. So when we approach a solution, approach a market segment like the hospitality market, we try to provide a complete environment to support our customers. So we have all these services for support, for startup, for warranty, all these softwares to make your life easier. So we try to create all this environment to provide the best service, the best products, the best solution possible. Okay. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, please feel free.
Thank you, Chapo, for your presentation. So we had at least one question, which is this one. How are services, CCTV, data voice separated on a PON LAN Laserway network?
Okay, thank you for the question. Um, so these services can be separated logically through VLANs, for example, right? So these VLANs, these services can be configured per port or have a trunk port in the ONT, for example, each port can be configured separately. You can have different services in each port with different VLANs. You can have different bandwidths provided in each port. You can have different QoS, quality of service protocols or scripts in each of these ports. So every port is configured independently. Yeah. So this gives you a lot of flexibility in the network. And this is something important, especially in this time. We've seen many hotels adapting their environment, their hotels, to maybe provide different services. We've seen, I believe it was from Accor, they had changed some of their hotels to be like workplaces, so people that can go there during the day and just work and leave. So this flexibility in the network that Ponlan Laserway brings to your network is very important, especially in times like this where you can change a bit the way you work in the building. Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Okay, and we had an additional question here, which is, do you have any encryption to guarantee network security?
Yes, thank you. So on GPON network, the GPON protocols, GPON protocol already use 128-bit AES data encryption, right? So this ensures that no people cannot break the fiber, splice it through something, and access the data. So this makes the network much more secure when you talk about normal copper networks, right? So it's not easy. Every data is encrypted. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chapo, once again. Um, okay, later you all will receive the link for this video, which will remain available for those who want to see it again. If you have any additional questions, you can send to Alexandre's email, which is alexandre.chapo@furukawaelectric.com. You can join us on social networks and see the emails that we'll send you in order to attend the next presentations of the FCS solutions. And once again, thank you very much for your assistance and take care.